Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. As you can see, we're in my garage. There's a freaking huge mess over here. Just boxes from just buying parts. Actually, there's still parts in here. That's not going in the garbage. But we have a huge mess in the garage. But today, as the title of the video says, we are working on the 240 for the first time in months. The last two videos I recorded about the 240 is mostly me talking and showing you guys the turbo kit. But it's finally time for me to work on it and pull the motor out. Time is going fast, and this motor has to be pulled, engine bay has to be painted, and everything has to be put back together in order for me to get it tuned in February. So I have to hurry up, and I've been wasting a lot of time. But before I even start working on the car, I have to get the garage clean because I hate working on a dirty garage, and I've been buying a lot of random shit. I bought a new jump pack just because I want to stop working. It still works, but it's kind of shitty, so I just bought a new one. All this whole mess for me working on previous cars, so I have to clean my whole toolbox, clean my tables, and as you can see, huge mess. So I'm about to start working on this, just get this all cleaned up, and then I can start working the car. This is a Miata that I told you guys on the first video. I just bought this. It's rust free, super clean Miata. The only problem with it that it has a big misfire, but my guess is that it has an aftermarket cast sensor, and I don't think the cast is good. The thing that I know that is the issue is the injectors. I don't know if you guys can see that, but those injectors are not Miata blue. It's like a baby blue, and the OEM Miata injectors are actual dark blue, like this one right here. So those injectors in the car are not OEM. My guess is that they're stuck open because the car is running super rich. So I'm gonna take this out. I have a bunch of extra injectors. I'm going to be putting this in, and hopefully that's the issue. Let me get all this clean, and I'll be right back. So as you can see, it's way cleaner than what it was. At least I can put my tools up here now and, you know, working shit. This is still dirty. I don't know. I don't like this bench. It's not organized. It's just really weirdly made. I don't know. I don't like it. It moves a lot. It's like super shaky. I might get another one. But anyway, I cleaned this a little bit as well, picked up all my tools, just some random shit that I didn't know where to put it. Yeah, but now I'm gonna start taking the car apart. Of course, start by draining the fluids, then start taking the exhaust, drive shaft, and get everything from the bottom done. So when I'm ready to, pull the motor, at least I don't have to keep racing the car up and down. So I'm about to take everything from the bottom and then work my way up. Alright guys, so it's been around over an hour since the last clip, and as you can see, nothing, it's pretty much done. So I've been having this issue with this bolt right here. There's a bolt, see if you guys can look at it. So for the past hour, I've been having an issue where a bolt up here, I don't know if you can see that bolt on top to the left. For the manifold, it's rounded out, and I cannot get it off for the life of me. I've been going at it for over an hour, actually. There's no way of me getting there to cut it or to take it out. It's completely rounded out. I have the set to take off rounded out bolts, but it skips the 14, and that's a 14, and the 13 is way too small. So what I'm thinking about doing is just I'm thinking about going to Harbor Freight and getting one of those little rolling tables so I can just drop the motor and I can drop the whole thing. When I get the engine bay painted, I don't have to worry about when me putting the motor inside, having it scratch like the engine bay. So I think the better idea is just dropping the motor. I did not want to do that, but I mean, it's super easy to do with this car. It's just taking the subframe bolts, which are right there, and loosening the top hats of the coilover, taking the sway bar off, and just of course take everything off the engine, and everything should drop off, I think. And it also saves me time because when I put the motor in, I have to take the manifolds off anyway. So by me just putting everything in at once, it'll be way easier. So I think I'm just gonna go to Harbor Freight, buy one of those tables, and just using that, I guess. So Harbor Freight has one for like $380, and Special has one for $250 on Marketplace. So I hit him up. Hopefully they'll get back to me. So I guess I have to wait tomorrow no matter what. I'm just gonna start taking everything apart, take the whole harness off, all the wiring, all the lines, power steering, everything off, so I can drop the motor, and hopefully tomorrow I can get one. If I cannot get that one for $250, I'm just gonna have to go to Harbor Freight and pay the $400 for the other one. Let's see how much of a mess we make. Not bad, not bad. So actually, I noticed that this one's loose as well. I have to make sure I put some like Loctite on something because this one's coming loose. Take the other one off. Let's see if I can get to it. There you go. I'm gonna let these two drain, then find something so I can drain the coolant too. And after that, I think we should be good down here. Then I can go to the top and start taking the harness off. I got the dry shaft off, the slave cylinders off, the crank sensors off, the harness back there got ripped off, so I don't have to worry about that one. So I did a decent amount of work just getting off the main bigger things in here. The radiator off, the battery, the harness almost completely off. I just have to undo the big connector that's in the back of the head for the injector harness. And then as you can see, all of them are up here. And then, tomorrow she should be ready to drop. I do want to fix this battery tray area. That's the only part that was rusty on the car when I bought it. So the, every 240 rust from here. Just because water accumulates underneath the battery and ends up rusting the side. So I'm thinking about putting the battery tray in the back and just moving the whole battery to the back of the car just to free up some space in the engine bay and make it look better. I'm not 100% sure. Once I take the motor off, then I will decide. But yeah, so tomorrow I'll be back. Hopefully I can get the little hydraulic cart and I can drop this motor tomorrow and then start stripping the whole engine bay. So I could not find a hydraulic table cart. There's one, it's like 30 minutes away. They're not free till later today, I believe. So I have a pallet and has some wheels on it. I'm about to put some wheels on the metal because he only has 4 in the corners and it flexes. But these pallets are supposed to hold 1,000 pounds. With the wheels, I don't know how much it's gonna hold. I'm about to put the wheels in the middle, or the caster wheels, and drop the subframes. That's the only thing I can do. I decided that by taking the arms will be way easier than just dropping the whole coilover and the whole arms with the subframe, which is almost the same amount of work. But I want to take the arms off and clean them. As you can see, they're super disgusting. They're full of oil and just grime from driving a whole season, well, 2 seasons actually. Alright guys, so everything off the engine, it's disconnected, the harness off, have the harness thrown to the side. The fuel line is off, coolant hoses, power steering, all the grounds are off. So I'm just going over, making sure everything's off, and everything seems off. So I'm just gonna drop it. It's a little sketchy. I guess we'll see how the little pallet holds up. The only difficult thing that I'm looking at, it's once it's down, for me to get the bolts on the other side. Maybe if I pull it more to the side, and then try to balance it in on this. So I want to make sure it's like right on the middle. Because actually, I forgot the trans. So I have to go undo the trans. I'm scared that the trans is gonna make it, flip back. Which I should probably put it like that. But let me raise it up. Take the 4 bolts of the trans and drop it off. Drop it down. All right, so I only have 2 bolts left on the driver's side, and the whole subframe should be disconnected from the chassis. So I'm about to take them off and see what happens. All right, last one left. So it's around 1/2 inch from the chassis. It's a little wiggly. I think it's leaning a little bit to the left. I guess I'm just gonna go for it. I got the steering shaft off, so I think it should be good now. There she goes. Yes, sir. All right, guys, she's fully out. That went really, really smooth. The only thing that, you know, was on the way was the power steering hose and the steering shaft and the clutch sleeve that was just stuck on the cart. It went through the hole, so it was just stuck in there. It only took me like 5 minutes to get the whole thing out, which was super nice. My only issue now, it's getting this over there. So I have to move the four-wheeler outside and clean up. But so I guess I can leave it here for a little bit. I do want to start prepping the engine first and then worrying about the motor, just because my main concern is getting the engine bay painted. You know, that's the whole point of me taking the whole motor off, you know, and dropping it. So I want to move the motor to the side, start stripping the whole engine bay. You know, everything from the engine bay has to come out. I might leave the brake booster just because I don't want to deal with it. We'll see how I feel. But everything has to come out. I'm leaving the brake lines in just because I do not want to mess with the brake lines. But all the coolers, the headlights, the bar, everything has to come out. But first I have to clean up. It's a huge mess. I believe that it's easier just to drop the subframe, just because when you're putting the motor in the car, you cannot put it in with the manifolds. So you have to take the manifolds off, and then to put this top bolt is a pain in the ass because it's literally almost touching the tunnel. It's, I think, like half an inch away. So as you can see, this bolt's all rounded out. I left the wrench on it. So now I have to take this bolt off. Before I couldn't even fit pliers or nothing to hold the bolt at all. I could have probably tacked it here and just, you know, taking that out, but it was gonna be so hard just to get it welded. And like I said, I was gonna have to still take the manifolds off, which is not, you know, it'll take me probably like 10 minutes to take each manifold off, but that's more time that you're gonna be wasting. And like I said, when I put the motor back in, I do not want to scratch the engine bay, just because, you know, the trans is so long. You have to really tilt the engine hoist just to get in there. So I believe this is a little easier. And it did not take me long. All the arms, I had to take them off anyway, because I said, like, look how dirty they are. I want to get them clean. So by me, you know, taking the arms off, it was not a big deal. But yeah, you know, the motor's off. I'm super pumped. All right, we got the motor on this side. My brother's helped me push over here. It actually worked pretty good. Like, we just pushed it, nothing happened, nothing sketchy happened. So thank God that this thing worked. I saved myself like $300 on the little cart. Yeah, but now I'm just gonna lower the car, and maybe tonight or tomorrow start stripping everything like I said earlier, just to get the engine bay all cleared up. But yeah, I cleaned up a little bit, cleaned up all the tools, put all the parts away just so I could move things around. So I do not want to make the video too long. I just want to keep cutting it in segments, like a day at a time. So since I think that's all I'm gonna do today, I'm just gonna cut the video here, and because I already have like 2-3 days on this video, so I have to edit it and upload it. But if you guys want to watch more of this car, this is the other motor that's going inside. I have more Miatas. My brother has his Miata, his Evo. If you guys want to watch us drift in summer or just watch our build, make sure to click that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.